Hare Krishna, Vishwa Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The GBC of ISKCON Mumbai group, in its resolution number 303 titled GBC Statement on the Position of Srila Prabhupada, has stated that Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the original Guru whose divine grace descends through the medium of the Guru Parampara. As such, a devotee is ultimately delivered by Sri Krishna, acting through a combination of various manifestations of his mercy. These include, but are not limited to, the Chaitanya Guru, Srila Prabhupada, the Guru Parampara, one's diksha-guru, other siksha gurus, the holy name, shastra, and the 9 processes of devotional service. So, according to this resolution of the GBC, who delivers an ISKCON devotee from material entanglement? This is the question before us today. According to the GBC, it is Sri Krishna acting through a combination of Chaitanya Guru, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, one's diksha-guru, other siksha gurus, holy name, shastra, Navavida Bhakti, and many more like this. So we will see, is this statement of the GBC of ISKCON Mumbai group backed by Srila Prabhupada's teachings and shastra? Continue listening to find out. In his purport to verse 8 of chapter 25 of the 3rd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada says, this verse is very instructive since it indicates the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple. The disciple or conditioned soul is put into this darkest region of ignorance and therefore is entangled in the material existence of sense gratification. It is very difficult to get out of this entanglement and attain freedom. But if one is fortunate enough to get the association of a spiritual master like Kapila Muni or his representative, then by his grace one can be delivered from the mire of ignorance. The spiritual master is therefore worshipped as one who delivers the disciple from the mire of ignorance with the light of the torch of knowledge. The word paragam is very significant. Paragam refers to one who can take the disciple to the other side. This side is conditioned life. The other side is the life of freedom. The spiritual master takes the disciple to the other side by opening his eyes with knowledge. We are suffering simply because of ignorance. By the instruction of the spiritual master, the darkness of ignorance is removed and thus the disciple is enabled to go to the side of freedom. It is stated in Bhagavad-gita that after many births, one surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, if after many births, one is able to find a bona fide spiritual master and surrender to such a bona fide representative of Krishna, one can be taken to the side of light. So please note Srila Prabhupada's opening statement of this purport that this verse indicates the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple. These are Prabhupada's words. In other words, this verse is specifically about the relationship between the diksha-guru and his disciple. Therefore, this purport, which we have just now gone through, is very relevant to our current discussion. And in this purport, Srila Prabhupada says no less than 5 times, yes, you heard it right, 5 times, that it is the diksha-guru who delivers the disciple. The first place, Srila Prabhupada says, it is very difficult to get out of this entanglement and attain freedom. But if one is fortunate enough to get the association of a spiritual master like Kapila Muni or his representative, then by his grace, whose grace? The spiritual master's grace, one can be delivered from the mire of ignorance. So here clearly, Srila Prabhupada says that the diksha-guru is the one who delivers the disciple. Then again, Srila Prabhupada says a second time in the purport, the spiritual master is therefore worshipped as one who delivers the disciple from the mire of ignorance with the light of the torch of knowledge. Again, diksha-guru is worshipped as the one who delivers the disciple. Then a third time, Srila Prabhupada says, Paragam refers to one who can take the disciple to the other side. This side is conditioned life, the other side is the life of freedom. The spiritual master takes the disciple to the other side by opening his eyes with knowledge. So that's the third time. As if that were not enough, a fourth time, Srila Prabhupada says, by the instruction of the spiritual master, the darkness of ignorance is removed, and thus the disciple is enabled to go to the side of freedom. So, it is the instruction of the diksha-guru that removes the darkness of ignorance of the disciple, enabling him to achieve freedom. Then, a fifth time, Srila Prabhupada says in this very purport, it is stated in Bhagavad-gita that after many, many births, one surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, if after many, many births, one is able to find a bona fide spiritual master and surrender to such a bona fide representative of Krishna, one can be taken to the side of light. Only if one gets a bona fide diksha-guru can one be taken to the side of light. Let me remind you that Srila Prabhupada began this purport how? By saying that this verse is very instructive about the spiritual master and his disciple. Hence, we have to understand that wherever in this purport Srila Prabhupada mentions spiritual master, it must refer to diksha-guru, because that is the specific subject of discussion in the verse and the purport. So very clearly from this purport, we can see that Srila Prabhupada taught that it is the diksha-guru who delivers the disciple, not the siksha-guru or anyone else. So then the question may arise, what is the role of the holy name and all the other items mentioned as the combined deliverers in the GBC resolution, like the holy name, the siksha-gurus, etc., etc.? Well, Srila Prabhupada says this in the purport to the 61st verse of chapter 9 of Madhya Leela in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is the spiritual master who delivers the disciple from the clutches of Maya by initiating him into the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, we can understand that the deliverer is one. And who is that? The diksha-guru. To deliver the disciple, the diksha-guru initiates him into chanting the holy name, performing Navavida Bhakti, worshipping the deity, etc. Yes, all these are essential in the deliverance of a conditioned soul. But if we ask, who delivers the devotee? The answer is not that it is Krishna through a combination of diksha-guru, siksha-guru, holy name, Navavida Bhakti, etc., as erroneously resolved by the GBC of ISKCON Mumbai group. On the other hand, the responsibility of delivering the disciple is taken by the diksha-guru, solely by the diksha-guru. We have to understand that everyone's responsibility is nobody's responsibility. The holy name may be there, Krishna may be there, siksha-gurus may be there, Navavida Bhakti may be there, deities may be there, but one person has to take the responsibility of delivering the disciple. It cannot be left to some vague combination of everyone together delivering the devotee. That one person who takes the entire responsibility of delivering the disciple is the diksha-guru. For delivering the disciple, the diksha-guru is empowered by Krishna to engage the disciple in worshipping the holy name by chanting a prescribed number of rounds, in worshipping the deity, in executing Navavida Bhakti, etc. In other words, if one chants the holy name, executes Navavida Bhakti, hears many siksha-gurus, but doesn't have a diksha-guru, then none of them will take responsibility to deliver the devotee. Only when the devotee surrenders unto a bona fide diksha-guru will the diksha-guru take responsibility to deliver the disciple. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, verses 31 and 32 purport, Srila Prabhupada says this: when a mantra is chanted by a great devotee, the mantra becomes more powerful. Although the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is powerful in itself, a disciple upon initiation receives the mantra from his spiritual master. For when the mantra is chanted by the spiritual master, it becomes more powerful. So, it is clear that the holy name, Navavida Bhakti, Shastra, the Guru Parampara, etc. are all acting to deliver the devotee. But without the grace of a bona fide diksha-guru, it is impossible to be delivered. Eventually, as Srila Prabhupada said, if a devotee doesn't have a bona fide diksha-guru, but is chanting the holy name, executing Navavida Bhakti, etc., then the Paramatma will guide that devotee to a bona fide diksha-guru, and then that bona fide diksha-guru will take that disciple back to Krishna, back to Godhead, delivering him from the material entanglement. On the other hand, if one has everything, the holy name, Navavida Bhakti, Shastra, Parampara, etc., but has no bona fide diksha-guru, then he cannot be delivered. Srila Prabhupada says in his purport to the verses 8 through 12 of the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita, because a bona fide spiritual master is a representative of Krishna, if he bestows any blessings upon his disciple, that will make the disciple immediately advanced without the disciples following the regulated principles. Or the regulated principles will be easier for one who has served the spiritual master without reservation. If the diksha-guru bestows his blessings upon his disciple, then the disciple becomes immediately advanced without following any of the regulated principles like Navavida Bhakti, chanting prescribed number of rounds, etc. That is the power of the bona fide diksha-guru. And where does the diksha-guru get such power? From Krishna himself, because it is Krishna who has directly empowered the diksha-guru like that. But the GBC of ISKCON Mumbai group has diluted the power of the diksha-guru by saying that it is not the diksha-guru who delivers the disciple. Rather, it is Krishna through many manifestations of his mercy. Let us go through that resolution once again. What does the resolution say? It says, as such, a devotee is ultimately delivered by Sri Krishna acting through a combination of various manifestations of his mercy. These include, but are not limited to, the Chaitanya Guru, Srila Prabhupada, the Guru Parampara, one's diksha-guru, other siksha-gurus, the holy name, shastra, and the 9 processes of devotional service. Do you see how ridiculous this resolution is when you look at all of Srila Prabhupada's instructions on this matter? This is a whole new spin that the GBC of ISKCON Mumbai group is giving to the process of deliverance of a disciple by a bona fide diksha-guru. Isn't this statement, isn't this resolution by the GBC of ISKCON Mumbai group an obfuscation of the truth? Isn't the GBC contorting the truth to suit its own self-centered agenda? Has the GBC passed such a ridiculous resolution which contradicts Srila Prabhupada's teachings because the GBC believes that its diksha-gurus are not bona fide, that they are unauthorized? And because they are unauthorized, the ISKCON Gurus are not empowered by Krishna to deliver their disciples. Is it because the GBC knows that the ISKCON diksha-gurus are not really performing the role of diksha-guru, which is to illuminate the disciple's heart with transcendental knowledge and to deliver him from all sinful reactions, which is the definition of diksha vedana, or in other words, to deliver the disciple from the material world. Just as Srila Prabhupada quoted Srila Jiva Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 15, verse 108 purport. Is this resolution an attempt by the GBC to reconcile the different opinions that exist in ISKCON as to who delivers the devotees? Do all the gurus and their disciples in ISKCON agree and accept the GBC's version of who delivers the disciple? Very unlikely, because there are many divided opinions amongst the gurus and their disciples in ISKCON on this subject. Everyone in ISKCON has his own opinion as to who delivers the disciples. Somebody says Krishna delivers, somebody says Prabhupada delivers, somebody says the diksha-guru delivers, etc. Does this resolution number 303 of the GBC of ISKCON Mumbai group not smack of hypocrisy, calling its devotees diksha-gurus, but openly declaring that they are incapable of delivering their disciples? On the one hand, the GBC of ISKCON Mumbai group accuses Srila Prabhupada's Ritvik system of initiations of making Srila Prabhupada impotent. But on the other hand, what does this resolution 303 of 2014 speak of the potency of the ISKCON unauthorized gurus? Are the unauthorized diksha gurus in ISKCON not potent enough to deliver their disciples? We are not sure if the GBC has any answers at all to these questions, as well as the innumerable questions we have raised on the unauthorized guru system in all our videos till date. Their deafening silence can mean only one thing. What is that? That they have no answer to any of our questions. As far as we at Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON group are concerned, you can ask any devotee in our group, right from a newly joined bhakta to the senior most GBC in our group, as to who delivers the devotees in our group. You will instantly get one and only one spontaneous and unambiguous answer everywhere without fail, without any confusion, without any doubt. What is that answer? The deliverer in our group is our Guru Maharaj, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who delivers all the devotees in our group, because he is our sole bona fide diksha-guru, empowered directly by Krishna to be the deliverer. Hare Krishna. Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.